Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. We're going to work our way through the dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities and ETFs that I follow. If you guys need any help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I talk about individual companies and kind of portfolio strategies. We do have a discount going on, quote discount, and you can use that for a large discount. To sign up to the website. So let's dive in. Let's take a look, and I'll give you my financial opinions. So looking at the dollar, that's where we're going to start. We had a weaker dollar today. It does look like we have a little bit more of a reversal candlestick today where we could see weaker dollar and weaker yields ahead of us. If we zoom in, you can see this sharp kind of roll over in the dollar and strong selling pressure in the middle of the day. I should say in the middle of the night, whenever that was. Either way, roll over in the dollar, heading a little bit lower, and it's got a nice little wick at the top. Looking at interest rates, 2-year lower today, down 1.64% on the 2-year. Is the Batman pattern or head and shoulders top pattern going to come out into play? Not really sure yet. We need to see that continued selling pressure to the downside. Or I should say buying pressure in bonds, yields weakening. We need to see that continue for us to claim something like that. But this does look weak. It could be considered a bearish reversal candlestick, and we're looking for follow through the next days. TNX, which is the 30-year yield, definitely selling off pretty hard today, down 3%, which means people were running and buying bonds. So we had a nice, good, strong reversal today. Same with TYX, another strong reversal, down 2.86%. So we had yields being driven lower today, and a little bit weaker dollar. That's going to be a tailwind behind precious metals. I back out. Is this kind of a topping pattern that we're about to get? It could be. That could be that Batman pattern that we look for. Same with the TNX. You can see this guy almost doing the Batman here. Is that the Batman pattern where we could head lower? I don't want to jump into it yet, but let's watch it. If it is, and we see yields start to really come off and the dollar come off, we could see a big move to the upside for precious metals. And that's why it's so important to watch yields. TYX TNX ratio, it's just basically sideways on the ratio, but we're at a very favorable area for precious metals. Very low, which means that the curve is inverted. And when the curve uninverts, when it starts to come back up, that is when precious metals take off. That is when you've got the tailwinds behind you, and you want to be exposed to precious metals. Bond prices bouncing off the support here, heading on higher. A lot of strength behind this move, and I'd like to see this continue higher and yields continue lower, which would be a nice, good tailwind behind precious metals. So looking at gold just ripping it today, up about 19 bucks an ounce. The reason, in my opinion, that it's up is the conditions. We're seeing yields come off, people running in a little bit into bonds, dollar kind of turning around here, people positioning in gold, silver, and platinum. So that looks good. We're back above that resistance support area. Look for a continued move if yields continue lower. Silver just absolutely ripping to the upside. Is this the beginning of a very big move to the upside? I am inclined to think so. That's my opinion there. I think this is ready to rip it. If yields are ready, silver's going to rip. And that's what we're watching for. Gold's going to rip too. Gold actually has a stronger correlation with the curve uninverting than even silver does. And then platinum also partaking in it, going up a little bit today, but generally in a period that we're looking at, we could see gold and silver outperform for a period of time. XAU to gold ratio, the gold and silver mining companies, people also diving into that. Investors are definitely positioning in the gold and silver mining companies. We are bouncing off this support area. There's the support area here, right on it. And hopefully we can get a break to the upside, signaling that the gold and silver mining companies are going to outperform gold in a period where gold and silver are increasing. Looking at the CRB index, we are up a little bit today, up 0.36%. Are we going to head lower? Are we going to head higher? I think that it's going to deal with oil and how oil behaves here. Same with the precious metals and all this stuff. But overall, we're in a very good location for a move to the upside. We've got this consolidation area. That's what that consolidation area is. We've broken that to the upside. We generally get a return move. We're in that return move. It could go lower. Maybe it doesn't. Generally, it works its way higher after the return move. So by me looking at this, I would view it as a buying opportunity. CRB to S&P 500, yields dropping a little bit. Again, this still looks like to me that we're going to head higher in this ratio. Today, we had the S&P and NASDAQ get a good bounce today. But that still looks good to go higher. GDX rip into the upside, along with GDXJ, along with SILJ. They're all interconnected. So what we're looking for is a break out of that downtrend line. It's going to take a little bit. I don't generally wait. I look at the market conditions. I look where the yield curves are inverted, and then I cost average in. I don't really wait, but if you're a trader, I would wait for trend line breaks if you're a trader. But GDXJ, they all look pretty good. They're going to get good little bounce, good little buy today. But we're still looking for yields to weaken. This is on the monthly there. You can see we've broken out and we're doing a retest there. So I think it looks good to move on higher for the most part on a long-term perspective. Crude oil down 1.46%. A little wick on the bottom. I know it was pretty volatile throughout the day. There's your move lower and then the turn on up. And you can see by the end of the day, we did get a little bit of weakness towards the end of the day. But crude oil definitely hanging in there. And is this pullback done? We'll see tomorrow. Like to see buying pressure to come out of the bottom there. We do have a little wick at the bottom. It could be a potential bottom. And I know some people say, well, you need better confidence in it. It's like, guys, the confidence doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I present this necessarily. The market's going to do what it's going to do. And in my opinion, I would be a buyer irrespective of the short term because we've broken the big downtrend. You get a move up, you get a pullback, and then you get a rip. How far that pullback is, yeah, we can do a whole bunch of fib retracements, and sometimes it's worth something, sometimes it's not. A lot of the times it goes to 0.618 would be a $73, $74 pullback. That's generally where it would go. Doesn't mean it has to go there though. So we'll see where this thing actually ends up. Natural gas down a little bit in the short term. We're coming into the fall between heating and cooling season. Expect a little bit of weakness in the short term for nat gas. XOP, yeah, you know me, we are below that big resistance line. But I mean, if someone were to flash me this chart, guys, this is an inverted head and shoulders, and I would be bullish as heck. I would be looking for a potential break to the upside, and I'd be watching this over here. We do have a bullish engulfing here and not much selling pressure. So I think it's just relaxing underneath that resistance line, ready to break to the upside. OIH is also looking very strong. We had crude oil sell off today and nat gas sell off, but energy service is on support, and it's using that support to put in a bullish piercing pattern, which generally wants to go higher. So to me, when I look at crude oil down and I see XOPs down less than crude oil, I see OIH is actually on an up day. I would say that this is very bullish, that we could go higher. So that's my take on it. I'm very bullish on energy in general. The Sprott Physical Uranium Trust continuing to rip it, up 2.37%. We are starting to break away from that resistance area. It says need to break this resistance line and hold above it. You can see our big candlestick here on the monthly just rip into the upside. This is breaking out. It looks absolutely fantastic. URA also participating in the move, up 1% today. Looks fantastic to continue higher. URNM also continuing up 0.9%, bullish engulfing. Looks like it wants to move higher. And then URNJ also ribbing it up today, 1.71%. Nice big move. If you want to see where we're going to get stuck next, you look to the left-hand side. In my opinion, where we were going to get stuck is basically where we've already busted through, is about this general location here in the 18-ish dollar level. We could see a big move to the upside here. If the buyers come in and the money flows come in, there's not much upside resistance. There's a little bit left at maybe 19-ish dollars, somewhere in that range, right where we're at. But if we can clear that, there's not much overhead resistance above. So get ready. TAN looks like it's trying to put in some sort of bottom here, 1.75% higher. Looks like it's trying to turn. Again, it hasn't turned yet, but it's trying. COPX up 1.5%. Copper was looking pretty good. Still inside the channel, but again, I think it's firming up, and copper looks pretty good, and we'll take a look at copper in a little bit. Lithium also firming up today, up 1.05%, and that is a reversal candlestick where we could potentially head higher. So that looks good, or better, I should say. On the weeklies, we still have downside momentum, but it looks better on the dailies. REMX also putting in a little update today. It is trying to put in a bottom, I think. We could almost say it's a bullish piercing, not quite, but it's close. And we'll see if we get buying pressure tomorrow towards the rest of the week. SPX ripping it today, 1.1%. Kind of an ugly looking chart here. Nothing really too clean, but it is up today. Same with the NASDAQ. No really reversal candlesticks. I mean, there's one here kind of, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. The downtrend line is broken, and we'll see if we continue higher with the NASDAQ and S&P 500. Emerging markets feeling pretty good with a little bit weaker dollar, a little bit weaker yields. People piling into EEM up at 1.6%, and I do think that this is going to go much higher in the future when that dollar starts to drop. XHB up 2.07%. It does like those yields dropping, and we could see that continue higher if the yields continue to drop. We do have a lot of selling pressure all through here, and that hasn't been negated yet. We need to see how this reacts. If we get weak buying pressure, it could roll over very easily, and we'll see what yields do. If we get big, strong selling pressure and weak yields, we could continue higher. MOO right towards the support region, just underneath it, and we'll see if we can hold here. Copper ripping to the upside, 1.23% above that resistance support level, and that does look like we could continue higher if the buyers want to push it. It looks really good. Iron ore also working its way higher. I've got the resistance line there, and it looks like it's peaking out, ready to rip. I've got that this guy coming and saying it's going to rip higher. I agree with what I written there, and it looks good to rip on higher. Nickel up a little bit. Again, I don't like seeing this double top here, but looks like we still have selling pressure here. This isn't a good entry point yet for nickel. Aluminum sideways right now. It's right underneath resistance, and it is a bloody nose, and that generally works its way higher. It's just a little profit-taking day, and generally I see that move to the upside. Baltic Dry Index down a little bit. Again, I think we're going higher. There's your falling wedge, your breakout of the falling wedge, false breakout. I'm going to continue to think it's going to go higher, and it'll probably rip at some point. Newcastle coal futures also at a very good location. I would be looking at coal, potential coal investments. BTC up. It does like the weaker dollar, weaker yields. Ethereum as well. So we're getting a big update. But we got to see how this thing reacts. We still have massive selling pressure that just blew to the downside. That generally means that people are selling it for a reason. So what you're going to see is a breakout to the downside, a potential move up, and then a rollover. So that's what I'm looking for out of Bitcoin. If it's not going to roll over, then you're going to see this thing really take off and try to break higher. So good one to watch over the next few days, weeks. So that's what I've got for today, guys. That's what I'm seeing in the markets. Thumb up for the content, subscribe to the channel and the website if you'd like. Overall, what I'm going to say is gold and silver look really good if yields are going to continue to drop. I think they look really good. I think oil looks good. Nat gas looking a little bit weak. We're coming into a weaker part of the season, we'll say. And energy service looking really good. That looks really good. And copper's looking good. So a lot of the commodities look pretty solid here. And I would be bullish in the majority of those. I think uranium probably looks the strongest of all the groups. Silver is also probably looking the second strongest. And then energy and copper and those are behind it, and they still look very strong. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys later. I will release a midweek update, so look for the midweek update if you're part of the community. I'll be releasing that today. All right, guys. We'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.